Welcome to Unexplored Mysteries. Midnight is often regarded as the witching hour, a time when the veil between our world and the unknown grows thin. I had always dismissed such superstitions as mere folklore, but that changed one fateful night when an encounter turned my disbelief into sheer terror. I was deep in sleep, my mind drifting in a haze of dreams, when a sense of unease jolted me awake, pulling me from the depths of slumber. As I lay in the darkness, a chilling feeling washed over me, a prickling sensation that crept along my skin. Something was off. My heart raced as I strained to listen, the silence in my room heavy and oppressive. That's when I saw it, a figure looming over my bed, its outline silhouetted against the dim light filtering through the curtains. It stood there motionless, an imposing shadow that blocked out the faint glow of the moon. My breath caught in my throat as I tried to make sense of the apparition before me. Was I dreaming? Perhaps my mind was still foggy from sleep, playing tricks on me. I blinked hard, hoping the figure would vanish like a fleeting nightmare. But it remained, a dark silhouette with an indistinct shape, and the air around me grew thick with an unnatural chill. I felt paralyzed, unable to move or scream, my body frozen in fear as I lay trapped beneath the weight of the unknown. As the seconds dragged on, the figure slowly began to take form, and I could discern more details. It was tall, impossibly so, with elongated limbs that seemed to stretch into the shadows. I felt a wave of dread wash over me, realizing that whatever this was, it did not belong in my room. An overwhelming urge to flee coursed through me, yet I felt rooted to the spot, my body betraying me in my moment of need. "Who are you?" I finally managed to whisper, my voice barely audible against the pounding of my heart. The figure didn't respond. Instead, it leaned closer, its face shrouded in darkness, and I could feel its breath, cold and heavy, washing over me. I closed my eyes tightly, willing myself to wake from this nightmare. But when I opened them again, the figure was still there, looming over me, its presence suffocating. Panic surged through me, and with a burst of adrenaline, I mustered the strength to push myself up. I turned on the bedside lamp, flooding the room with light, but the figure disappeared as if it had never been there at all. My heart raced as I frantically scanned the room, half expecting it to reappear, but the space was empty, the shadows retreating under the brightness of the light. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my racing heart. It had to be a trick of the mind, a figment of a restless sleep. I reassured myself, convincing my rational mind that I had merely been dreaming. Yet as I lay back down, the feeling of dread lingered, the atmosphere still thick with an unsettling energy. I pulled the covers tightly around me, but sleep was now an elusive stranger, slipping away like sand through my fingers. Hours passed, and I lay there wide awake, my eyes darting around the room, searching for any sign of the figure. Just as the first light of dawn began to creep through the window, I finally felt my eyelids growing heavy, lulled into a fragile state of sleep. But just as I was about to drift off, a sound broke the silence, a low, guttural whisper that sent a jolt of terror through me. "Wake up!" it hissed, the voice echoing in my mind, chilling my blood. I shot upright in bed, my heart pounding, and there it was again. The figure, now more defined, standing at the foot of my bed. It leaned forward, its face still obscured, but I could feel its eyes boring into me, filled with a malevolent hunger that made my skin crawl. In a flash, I threw myself out of bed, scrambling to the door, desperate to escape this torment. As I reached for the handle, I could feel the figure's presence behind me, a suffocating darkness that enveloped the room. With a burst of strength, I flung open the door and raced down the hall, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I didn't stop until I reached the safety of the living room, where the morning light streamed through the windows, banishing the shadows from my mind. I collapsed onto the couch, my heart still racing, trying to comprehend what had just happened. The figure had felt all too real, and the whisper still echoed in my mind, a haunting reminder of the terror I had faced. As I sat there, I knew that I could no longer dismiss the stories of the supernatural. There was something in that darkness, something that had tried to claim me in the night. Days turned into weeks, And though I tried to move on, the memory of that figure lingered, a dark shadow that tainted my dreams. I became more vigilant, checking the corners of my room, the shadows that danced in the corners of my vision. I found solace in the daylight, but as night fell, the unease returned. I had faced something beyond comprehension, and the truth weighed heavily on me. Finally, one night, determined to confront my fears, I stood before the mirror in my bedroom, searching my reflection for answers. As the light flickered, I felt the weight of the darkness surrounding me once more. And as the clock struck midnight, I whispered into the stillness, "You won't take me again." But as I turned to leave, I felt a chilling breeze sweep through the room, and the reflection in the mirror warped, the figure reappearing behind me, its eyes glinting with a predatory gaze. The whisper returned, louder now, echoing in my ears, "You cannot escape." In that moment, I realized the haunting had only just begun. The figure was a part of me now, a darkness that would follow me until I faced the truth behind its existence. If you've ever felt a shadow lurking in the darkness or heard whispers in the night, subscribe to Unexplored Mysteries for more chilling tales that delve into the unknown.